Hey guys, it's me Falco, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be going over what the best ways to use your ACs are. I'll go through different categories of price points and other things such as, amount, when you should spend them, whatever else, and my personal top choices, which I hope are all very useful to you. But anyway, let's begin with a video, and yeah. Okay, so to start out, we're going to go with a category of 200 ACs. This is usually the lowest range which people have at least left over in their, AC account, if you want to call it that, or just the ACs they've kind of acquired over a period of time, such as, birthdays like for AQW or New Year's, Honourable Hero, etc, etc. So the first thing I'm going to say is to basically buy bank storage or inventory storage or house storage. Personally, I think the best option is probably going to be inventory storage. As you can see, I have 255. It's basically because I have too many classes to hoard. But yeah, I think I have about 120 classes around there, just kind of sat in my bank. And yeah, I think that's a good use of VACs. Okay, so the next two options we have on the list are going to be the treasure chest keys. Obviously, you'll just go to Twilly here, click magic keys, and you can buy them both for 200 ACs each to open one chest. This treasure chest key, it's basically gambling, so I wouldn't recommend it personally, but if you want to, the option's there. The next one, as you can see here, Quibble's been moved here, but you can also spend money on rares. Obviously, the rares can be expensive, or you can get cheap rares like this Grimlord Cloak of Nulgath and stuff. So, if you have leftover ACs, you can always spend it on that too. And the next option we're going to have is basically the Wheel of Doom. You can buy tickets by clicking this. It's a fortune ticket. It basically is just like the treasure chest. However, you're not guaranteed an item from the Wheel of Doom as they have rarities, whereas from the treasure chest you are guaranteed stuff. But from the Wheel of Doom you can also get an IODA, so if you think it's worth it for that, go ahead. Once again, personally, I wouldn't recommend it because it is just gambling. Unless you don't have anything else you want to buy with your ACs, then sure. But yeah, besides that, the last option in my opinion is just going to be to save your ACs. As you can see here, I have 28,000. I've bought way more before, but the ACs themselves, saving them is pretty useful. You can use them for, bigger items, more useful things than just the starting stuff I brought up here. But yeah, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so the next category I have is 2,000 ACs. This is usually the point where you can start spending your ACs on more important things. As you can see from the list I've got shown here. I'll go through the list, show you how to kind of do stuff and whatever else, and yeah. Okay, so we're in the Underworld. The first option is obviously to join the Legion if you haven't already. You'll just head to Dage over here, you'll click him, you'll go to Shops, Armor Shop, and you'll buy his Undead Warrior. This is 1200 ACs. Now the thing for this is that you don't want to keep the armor after 24 hours. You want to do all the quests up until Fail to the King, I think it is, from Dage, after you buy the armor within the 24 hours, and then sell it. That way you're only spending 120 ACs, rather than the full 1200. Now if you don't manage to do this in the 24 hours, I would recommend just selling the armor, and then buying it back again if possible, and redoing the quest or doing the quests and finishing them up. At least then you still haven't spent 1200 ACs, it's basically you spent 240 instead. Okay, the next one is going to be for the light caster class. For light caster you need the light mage armor and the light mage class and whatever else. So you'll basically get these, which you get from buying the armor and the tokens and all the rest of the stuff basically. And yeah, to get the Lightcaster class now, you have to do this quest, you have to be level 80 plus and have all these requirements, etc, etc. As you can see, I already have it because I had it from a prior update, but we've updated it. It's a bit over the top for Lightcaster in my opinion. It's just one of those classes where if you can buy it, just buy it. If you don't want to, you also don't have to. It's nowhere near necessary, especially with things like Lord of Order about and Archpaladin. It's kind of outshined. On the topic of classes, I think buying other classes may be useful to you for 2k ACs if you've already joined the Legion, if you have all the other stuff I'll mention and whatever else. So obviously you've got the class shop here. Not all of them are here, but I'll kind of take you to the ones which I'm on about soon. But yeah, you can buy stuff. I think you can buy Stone Crusher here. That's one of them. Stone Crusher, a good option. Another good option is to basically buy the Archfiend class. You can buy it for 2k ACs or you can farm it. Personally, I think the farm's a bit long and a bit over the top if you don't have Nulgath pets or extra gold already. But you can buy the Archfiend class here as soon as you have 50 bone dust, I'm pretty sure. Come into, you know, Nulgath's secret or Miltonia's secret, whatever the room name's called, I always forget. And 2k ACs, it's a pretty good farming class, pretty top tier after the update. And the final one I'm going to mention is basically the Dark Throne Hub. You'll come in here, you can buy Archpaladin. There's two options. No idea why there's two options, but there is. I think one may be you have to do the quest, the other you have to do the 2k AC option. I did the farming, so the quest, it wasn't that bad. It took a couple hours, especially with membership. If you have membership, I recommend just farming it. But Archpaladin itself is pretty good, so pick it up for 2k ACs if you don't have it already or don't want to farm it. Okay, so the next things I'm going to mention are also fairly important. So as you can see in my pets here, I have the Nulgath birthday gift. This pet basically gives you quests, or a quest. He appears every year on Nulgath's birthday, and it's a pretty simple quest, but you can get all these really nice items for Nulgath farming. You can also get a Khalid Bulg. But yeah, pretty easy, pretty useful, that's for sure. Another pet which I want to mention, just in general, it doesn't have to be the pink Quibble Bank pet, but if you find yourself using your bank really frequently, getting a bank pet's pretty useful, as you can just kind of click B and it'll bring up your bank, like that. You don't have to use the pet outside of this, but you can basically just click that and it'll bring up the bank for you. And it's basically just down to being convenient. And that's going to be it for the 2k AC option. Okay, so for the 6k AC option here, I only have two major things listed. These two things are going to be calendar classes and some more pets. And yeah, I'll show you where to go and whatever else now. Okay, so if you join the Hero Mart, you can basically talk to Strike here. If you go to rewards, I think it is, calendar classes, time lock shops, you can buy the time lock keys for each of these classes. The main ones to basically keep in mind are going to be 2017, 2013, 2019, 2020, 2021. The reason this is, 2013 you get Timekeeper, which is a really good soloing class. 2017 you get Shadow Stalker of Time, which is a really good soloing class as well. 2019 and 2020 you get Timeless Chronomancer and Corrupted Chronomancer, I think it is. These two are consumable based. As you can see, I can bring up the stores here like this, but they're consumable based. You buy these consumables and they allow you to basically solo stuff a lot easier or do whatever with extra buffs and whatnot. Your 2021 class is going to be the Necrotic Chronomancer. I find this being my main form of farming when I do stuff, like my usual class I go to when I start farming, partially because I don't have Legion Revenant, but after the update they did to it, where you basically barely die if you just click 2 and 5, it's really good. The damage, incredible, especially if you use something like Laceration. and this is one of my top ones. I'd recommend Necrotic Chronomancer, Timekeeper, Shadowstalker of Time. 2019, 2020 are very optional, but they're really good as well. They've got some of the highest DPS in the game. Okay, so for the next pets I want to mention, it's going to be Kragan Bamboozle and Drudgeon. Obviously Nulgath has more pets like the one I've mentioned, but Kragan Bamboozle and Drudgeon, in my opinion, work really well together. They make farming regions super easy. If you have 10k ACs, I'd buy both. If I have 5k ACs only, or 6k ACs, as I've been mentioning, I think Kragan Bamboozle is definitely the better option. Crag has a daily quest for 30 diamonds of Nulgath, and then 3 blood gems as a chance. And then obviously you have the assistant quests and whatever else where you can get relics of chaos and totems, like darkness gems, whatever they're called, from like a shadow fiend in the Nulgath map and wherever else he is. But yeah, Kragan Bamboozle, then probably Drudgeon. That is my opinion. But yeah, 2 really good pets here. Okay, so for the 10k AC option I have listed, this is going to be just one thing, because there's not much you can really do with 10k ACs, as in buying one bulk item. But the chests for collections, in my opinion, are really good. Especially if you're really into cosmetics. So obviously I've got all the ones from this year which I've wanted so far. I missed the Talk Like a Pirate Day event, but you can get really cool stuff from these guys. They open up shops after the event's over, obviously. You spend 10k ACs on these pets. Usually the items inside which you do want are worth more, which is good. But you also get a badge which comes with these if you do spend the 10k ACs for the pets particularly, otherwise you don't get it. But yeah, in my opinion, this is probably one of the better ways to spend 10k ACs. And finally, to end off a video, I'll go over my personal top choices for using ACs. Obviously we have the classes I've listed. I'll put that in like a quick text now. So all the Chronos and Archfiend, Archpaladin and stuff. Stone Crusher, those are like the main ones which you want to be getting. Inventory space is one of my go-tos. I think inventory space is really important, but you do get free inventory space usually on events like the birthday event. Collection chests for 10k ACs are really good, especially if you're into cosmetics like I've just mentioned. One of the top things which people usually buy and save their ACs for. Joining the Legion, really important. And then also your Nulgath pets, really important if you want to farm stuff like VHL, Nulgath items in general, Nulgath Nation House, stuff like that. They make her life really easy. Obviously you don't need to own a pet to do quests, because you can go into stuff like you can go into places like Yoga 998, 9889, something like that. And you can use other people's Drudgeons and Nulgath larvae and do the quests there. However, if you have them by yourself, it's way more convenient and really useful. And as I mentioned, the use for things like treasure chests and the Wheel of Doom, it's gambling, it's basically pointless and a waste of money. But if you want to and you're a bit bored, go ahead. It's not the worst thing ever, because at least you do get something in return usually. And if you know what you're doing, at least then you can kind of talk yourself out of it if you want to stop, which is probably the best way to stop gambling. But yeah, overall I think that's going to be it for me. I hope this video was useful and gave you some ideas. If I did miss anything out, please let me know in the comments, because I'm sure I've missed a couple things out, but these are the main things which usually pop into my head and the most useful things I can think of to use ACs for. And yeah, whatever time it may be for you guys, good day, good night, good evening, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.